Number 1. Multitasking like a productivity goblin. Ah yes, the modern badge of honor, multitasking, juggling emails while watching a YouTube tutorial and half listening to a podcast about how to focus better. Irony is dead, but here's the messed up part. Your brain is terrible at multitasking, like embarrassingly bad. What you're really doing is called task switching, and every time you switch, your brain hits a tiny mental speed bump. It's called the switch cost, and studies show it actually lowers your IQ while you do it. Temporarily, of course, but still, you're out here frying brain cells trying to reply to your boss while also stalking your ex's Instagram story. The prefrontal cortex, your brain's executive manager, hates this. It can only fully focus on one cognitively demanding thing at a time. So when you force it to bounce back and forth like a caffeinated squirrel, it eventually just gives up. You lose mental energy faster, your memory suffers, and long-term focus becomes that thing you vaguely remember having before TikTok happened. So no, you're not being efficient. You're just speedrunning your way to burnout while tricking yourself into thinking you're winning. Multitasking, it's like opening 17 tabs to feel busy while getting absolutely nothing done. Classic brain sabotage. Number 2, doom scrolling into the void. You know the drill. You open your phone to just check the time, and suddenly it's 2 a.m. You've consumed 47 back-to-back disaster stories, and your anxiety is now playing dubstep in your chest. Welcome to doom scrolling, that totally normal thing where you voluntarily marinate your brain in stress soup. Your brain is biologically wired to pay attention to threats thanks to a little part called the amygdala. It's like a tiny alarm bell that lights up when it senses danger. But here's the thing, your brain doesn't care if that danger is a tiger in your backyard or a trending tweet about economic collapse. It reacts the same. So every time you scroll through bad news, your stress response fires off like you're living through 47 mini apocalypses a day. Cortisol floods in, focus drops, sleep quality nosedives, and your mental health slowly becomes a haunted house. Even worse, your brain builds habits around it. The more you doom scroll, the more your brain craves the next spike of fear because predictable panic is still dopamine. It's like fear junkie Stockholm syndrome. So yeah, that quick scroll before bed is your brain's way of tucking itself in with a horror story and then wondering why it can't sleep. Adorable. Number 3, blue light brain slaps. Let's talk about that glowing rectangle in your face right now. Specifically, the fact that your brain thinks it's staring directly into the sun. Phones, tablets, laptops, they all emit blue light, and your eyeballs have no idea that it's not 2 p.m. outside. So when you use them at night, your brain basically goes, cool, I guess we're pulling an all-nighter. Blue light messes with your melatonin, the hormone that tells your body it's bedtime. So even if you feel tired, your body's like, wait, are we hibernating or going clubbing? As a result, your sleep gets shallow, fragmented, or delayed entirely. And bad sleep isn't just annoying, it's brain poison. It messes with memory consolidation, emotional regulation, and your ability to not cry when someone eats the last fry. Chronic sleep disruption has even been linked to early cognitive decline because your brain can't flush out neurotoxins properly without good sleep. So no, the problem isn't that you just need to get to bed earlier. The problem is you're bathing your brain in LED daylight and expecting it to vibe. Try explaining that to your pineal gland. Number 4, obsessively checking your phone like a nervous pigeon. Let's be real, you check your phone more than a raccoon checks a trash can. Most people touch their phones 2,600 times a day. Yes, someone studied this. And each tap is a tiny hit of dopamine, like your brain ringing its own reward bell. But here's the sinister part. Constant phone checking rewires your attention span. Your brain starts expecting rapid feedback, instant stimulation, and novelty every 5 seconds. You know how it's impossible to read a book now without your brain screaming boring after page 2? Yeah, that's your brain on phone crack. This trains your dopaminergic system, the part responsible for reward anticipation, to go completely off the rails. Real life starts to feel dull in comparison, so you crave more digital stimulation, which makes real life feel even more dull. It's a feedback loop of boredom and a distraction, like being stuck in a microwave that only cooks your attention span. Over time, you lose the ability to focus, tolerate silence, or enjoy anything without your phone acting as emotional support. Your brain turns into a skittish lab rat hitting the lever just to feel something. And it all started with a quick peek at your notifications. Classic. Number 5, sitting like a brain-dead gargoyle. Let's talk posture, specifically the one where you're hunched over like Gollum decoding ancient scrolls on your laptop. Turns out, sitting for hours like a pretzel with no ambition isn't just bad for your back, it's also slowly draining your brain power. Studies show prolonged sitting, especially the slouched screen zombie kind, reduces blood flow to the brain. Less blood flow means less oxygen and fewer nutrients getting to your squishy control center upstairs. It's like running a high-performance computer on a dying battery and then wondering why it's glitching. Even worse, slouching affects your mood. Ever noticed how your body literally folds in on itself when you're anxious or sad? That's not just metaphorical. Poor posture reinforces stress signals in your nervous system. It tells your brain, yeah, we're in danger, again. So while you're just trying to finish a spreadsheet, your body thinks it's starring in a survival horror game. And yes, the brain fog, irritability, and lack of energy you feel after 8 hours of desk sitting isn't because you're lazy. It's because your body's locked in emergency nap mode all day. So if you want your brain to stop acting like it's 3 steps behind reality, maybe start by uncurling from your tech cocoon and sitting like a mildly functioning vertebrate. Baby steps. Number 6. Background noise all the time. Music while working, podcast while walking, Netflix while falling asleep, white noise, brown noise, pink noise, whatever the color of the day is. Silence? Nope. Terrifying. But constant background noise, no matter how soothing, can seriously mess with your brain's ability to reset. Your nervous system needs quiet time to process, organize thoughts, and make connections. It's like giving your brain a filing cabinet and then screaming into it for 14 hours straight. Here's the kicker. When your brain's always occupied, even passively, it never fully enters default mode, the resting state network where creativity and deep reflection live. You know, that magical mental zone where ideas pop out of nowhere in the shower? Yeah, that requires boredom and silence, 2 things your brain hasn't seen since 2011. Worse still, your auditory system doesn't turn off just because you're ignoring the sound. It's still working overtime to filter and interpret it. That's like running 40 tabs in the background and wondering why your laptop fan sounds like a jet engine. So while the lo-fi beats may help you vibe, your brain's low-key, waving a white flag and begging for just 5 minutes of peace. Let the silence be loud. Your neurons will thank you. Number 7. Skipping breakfast like it's a personality trait. Intermittent fasting, or as some of you call it, oops, I just didn't eat today. Now look, there is science supporting occasional fasting, but skipping breakfast every day because you're not hungry might just be code for running on adrenaline and vibes. When you skip that first meal, your blood sugar tanks. Your brain, greedy little organ that it is, relies on a constant supply of glucose. No fuel means reduced attention, irritability, and mental slowness that feels like you're thinking through molasses. And sure, some people claim they think better on an empty stomach. But what's actually happening is a mild stress response. Your body releases cortisol and adrenaline to keep you alert enough to go hunt that bagel you keep denying yourself. It's primal desperation disguised as productivity. Over time though, running your brain on emergency fuel can mess with memory, focus, and even long-term mood stability. It's like skipping oil changes for your car and then wondering why it sounds like a dying blender at every stoplight. You don't need a 5-course brunch, but maybe toss your brain a banana or something before asking it to solve global crises before 10 a.m. Number 8. Overhydrating like a camel with anxiety. Yes, hydration is important. No, drinking water isn't a personality. In our quest for optimal brain function, some people have started guzzling water like they're prepping for a kidney cleanse in the Sahara. The truth? Drinking too much water dilutes your electrolytes, especially sodium. This can cause a condition called hyponatremia, which, among other things, can make you feel tired, confused, irritable, and foggy-brained. Basically, the same symptoms you were trying to avoid by drowning yourself in hydration TikToks. Your brain needs balance, not a daily flood. Electrolytes help neurons fire correctly, and if you flush too many out, your brain turns into a laggy Wi-Fi connection in a basement bunker. Not exactly the peak performance zone, so if your brain feels fuzzy and you've been peeing every 12 minutes, maybe slow down the waterfall and eat a pretzel. Your neurons would appreciate the snack. Number 9. Overthinking like it's a competitive sport. You ever lie awake at night reanalyzing that thing you said in 2014? Congratulations, your brain has entered the overthinking Olympics and you're going for gold. Overthinking feels productive. It tricks you into believing you're solving something when really, you're just pacing mental hallways with no exit. Psychologists call this rumination, and it's like putting your brain on an emotional hamster wheel powered entirely by anxiety and intrusive flashbacks. And the worst part? Your brain actually gets better at it the more you do it. Yep, overthinking strengthens neural pathways that make more overthinking likely. It's like carving a groove into your brain that leads straight back to your own mental dungeon. Long-term rumination has been linked to higher rates of depression, anxiety, and impaired decision-making. You get stuck in analysis paralysis, where you can see every possible outcome of a decision, except for the part where you just pick one and move on like a functioning human. Basically, your brain is trying to protect you by throwing you into a mental escape room with no clues and no exit. Thanks, brain. Very cool. Number 10. Always being productive, aka self-optimizing into madness. Let's talk about toxic productivity. You wake up, make your bed like a Navy SEAL, chug a protein shake that tastes like concrete, and schedule your every breath with a habit tracker. Your reward? A vague sense of failure because you didn't meditate for 23 minutes or read a stoicism quote in the mirror. When everything becomes about optimizing, your brain doesn't get to rest. Even hobbies become side hustles. Even rest becomes active recovery. You're not a person anymore, you're a walking startup. This constant need to be productive fires up your stress response and keeps your brain locked in a low-level survival mode. You're not relaxing, you're performing relaxation for Instagram. Big difference. Over time, your brain associates downtime with guilt, making it harder to actually enjoy doing nothing. But here's the twist. Your brain needs boredom, play, and unstructured time to stay creative, resilient, and sane. Otherwise, it's just an overworked intern in a mental WeWork office that never closes. So no, you don't need to monetize your yoga routine or optimize your sleep with 7 wearable gadgets. Sometimes, being a potato is the most productive thing you can do. Let that sink in. Number 11. Ignoring nature like it's optional Ds. Do you remember what trees look like? You know, those big leafy Wi-Fi blockers outside. Your brain misses them, desperately. Spending time in nature, even just looking at a tree, reduces cortisol levels, improves mood, and boosts working memory. It's called attention restoration theory, and it's the idea that nature gives your brain a break from the constant attention-demanding chaos of modern life. Like swapping out your internal RAM for fresh, forest-scented memory sticks. But when you spend all your time indoors, under artificial lights, surrounded by walls and screens and existential dread, your brain kind of wilts. It's like keeping a houseplant in a basement and wondering why it looks sad. Even short bursts of green time, like 15 minutes a day, can reset your mental state, lower stress, and improve focus. So yeah, your brain wants a walk, not a treadmill. A walk. Outside, with air and sky and squirrels that judge you. Nature isn't a luxury, it's an essential operating system. Update your brain's been delaying since 2020. Number 12. Constant noise cancelling like a modern-day hermit. Ironically, in your quest to block out the chaos of the world, you may be creating more chaos inside your skull. Wearing noise-cancelling headphones 24/7 might feel like self-care, but your brain's auditory system wasn't designed to live in a bubble. Here's the problem. Your brain expects ambient sounds to help it orient to the environment. Total silence, especially artificial silence, can make your brain hypervigilant, like it's waiting for the jump scare in a horror movie that never comes. Some people even report increased anxiety, tinnitus, or disorientation when wearing high-end noise-cancelling headphones for too long. Why? Because your brain's trying to find sound cues it expects to be there, and when they're missing, it kind of freaks out. You're not calming your senses, you're giving your brain sensory FOMO. So sure, block out construction noise or chatty commuters, but maybe let your brain hear a bird once in a while. Or your own footsteps, so it remembers you're not just a sentient floating head in a vacuum chamber. Number 13. Living on caffeine and vibes. Caffeine is a beautiful lie, a legal stimulant, a socially acceptable brain booster in a mug, but also a sneaky villain if you abuse it like most of us do. When you slam caffeine on an empty stomach or rely on it to function every waking hour, your brain stops producing as much natural alertness on its own. It adapts to the constant stimulation, meaning your baseline energy level actually drops without it. It's like building a tolerance to a magic spell and then wondering why you need 3 espressos just to feel human. Caffeine also blocks adenosine, the chemical that makes you sleepy, but it doesn't get rid of adenosine, it just dams it up. When the caffeine wears off, boom. Sleepy flood. Worse, too much caffeine can jack up your anxiety, mess with memory, and absolutely demolish your sleep quality, even if you drank it 6 hours earlier. It's like hosting a rave in your brain and then asking everyone to shut up by 9 p.m. Not gonna happen. So if you're shaking, overthinking, and can't remember why you walked into a room, maybe dial it back from barista's favorite customer to casual coffee enjoyer. Your brain will thank you, probably by letting you sleep for once.